Okay, this evening we are going to do this set because, well, it's this thing. I don't even know what this belongs to. We'll do this and then we'll have a few extra things at the very end. So, this is another one of these poly bags that I've got because I got quite a few. I think I've got 2 more after this one. So that's fun. But I've also got some Technic sets coming soon, so I want to get those done. And I went and bought this robot thing yesterday, but it turns out because it was from the op shop, it didn't actually have a vitally important part in it. And but I'm still going to do it anyhow because it'll be fun. But anyway, there's lots of things to do, so let's just get this done. So I quite like this. This has some really interesting construction sort of things. Look, you can see it's like a little mouth, and it's got like, it looks very, I thought that was quite clever, is what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. So, off camera. Look at that, there's no like little bag on the inside that you have to open up. It's all just one big bag of bits and pieces. So that's the difference from other poly bags. Alright, and here's, oh gosh, here's the instructions. I don't think I've lost anything, so, and they're thicker instructions than usual. This is a more in-depth one than those licensed dealies, doodackies. There's a lot to do here, isn't it? Where do I start? I start on this page. Okay, well we'll just move it a little bit off to the side and put this here. Okay, let's get going. Right. Oh, I wanted to start with that thing, but you don't. You start with this thing. So that's disappointing. Already we're off to a bad start. All right, and that goes there, and this goes here. Right. So I'm a bit tired at the moment, but that's good. I've had a good day. I think it's been a reasonably productive day. Didn't quite get everything that I wanted to do done, but that's always the way. Always the way. So remember, if you're feeling down and you feel like you're not getting enough done, it's okay. Just do a little bit. Just a little bit. Well, I didn't do a little bit. I think I did a fair bit today, but it wasn't quite what I wanted. But then I always start off as like, you're never going to do this. You have these grand ideas what you want to do today, but you'll never have it. You'll never get through the day doing that. And there's not enough. I've got to have enough time to just sit and stare at pointless things on the internet for a while. that takes up a lot of time. But I didn't do too much of that today. Like it was quite good. I have to say. The daylight savings is finished, so there's an extra hour in the morning. Well, it's out by now, so I get up a bit earlier at the moment, and I'm going to go to sleep soon because I want to try and keep getting up a bit early, and that's always good, like, because I've been finding it harder and harder to get up early, but it's getting better. That's my exciting day. Yesterday I drove my car to pick up a plank of wood because I'm doing this thing and I want to make a thing. I want to go onto a roof, basically is my deal in life. And I'm terrified, I'm not terrified, but I'm just like very mindful of the fact that going on roofs, especially ones that are 2 stories high, is a dangerous activity to do and could result in death. So I've been trying to work out a clever and safe way of getting onto a roof. And I think I've got it, but it requires a piece of wood. And there's this place near where I live. It's like a factory or something. I don't really know what they do, but they throw out bits of scrap wood quite often. And I went past yesterday and they had exactly the planks of wood, not planks of wood, but sheets of wood that I really wanted. And I'm like, oh man, but I couldn't carry them at the time. And so I thought, well, I'll come back later in the evening when it's dark and I'll pick them up. And I came back later in the evening when it was dark, and you're never going to guess, but someone else had taken them. They'd gone. It's like, what? What a letdown. So Oh, I did take some scrap wood that was left over, but it was like, I don't really want planks, little bits like this. I mean, they're quite useful for some things, but they always I don't know what they use the wood for, but they make these. They must be making some sort of thing with it, and then they just throw them out when they're finished, and it's like fine. But the wood's quite, I mean, most of the wood's usually not that great, but it's once you've sanded it up a bit and painted it, it's all jolly nice. So I don't know, but I was like, well, that was a bit of a letdown. But other than that, it was fine. And I went out for the whole day cycling around during the day. I have this RC car that goes really fast, and it hasn't gone as fast as I wanted it to go. But then I got put a better battery in it. That's a hard thing to say. They should say that at school for a speech therapist. But I found a new battery, and it seems to go a lot faster. And then I thought, well, I'll take it out with me when I'm going place, and I'll stop somewhere with a big car park because it's Sunday, and there's bound to be like some place that is an empty area. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I didn't do that. I ended up packing my bag full of stuff. And I was like, well, this bag wouldn't be anywhere near as packed if you didn't have an RC car in it, which I did. And I knew that was going to happen. It's like, you're never actually going to drive this car. You should do it on a separate... I actually live near a place where there's like a little track specifically for RC cars. Though I don't think anybody uses it for that anymore because they've forgotten the fact that that used to be like the RC car meetup place. Many years ago. So these eyes are infuriatingly difficult to get in exactly the right orientation. Okay, we'll try it with this one. Because once you there you go. It's not right. Once you get it on, it's not that hard. I think my hands are just a bit slant. It is they're gonna look sad. They're gonna look sad. That's not. And look! This the exciting building bit. It's just like one little step, and they hardly even talk about it. It's like this is the most incredibly amazing thing I've ever seen. So hold on. That goes. Yes, I bought a couple of things, including this little robot thing that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I packed my bag out, but I did buy another thing. And I say I bought it, but I didn't buy it. I bought this, but I didn't buy it because it just said, "Oh, you can have that for free," because it didn't have a price on it. From the op shop. This is the second officially branded Rubik's Cube, but it's not like that one that people can do really, really fast in their hands. Like I don't find that I can do this super fast. And I started today trying to read looked at a web page about how to do it, and I think I'm going to have to stick at it for a bit longer than I was hoping. But I think it's one of those things. I think that eventually your brain just clicks and goes, "Oh yeah, I can do this." So I can do it. Like it's not going to be that hard. It's going to be straightforward. Right, it's one of those things where the instructions are kind of confusing, and then once you understand what they're trying to say, then it makes a lot more sense. But that is the face, so I'm going to have a look at it. It actually looks really good. Like I think that works really well. Like honestly, that's clever. So it's worth it just for that. Like this whole thing is worth it just for that little clever building technique. It does have lots of cool little pieces. And now we're going to do the tedious stuff. Now we're going to do the ears. The ears with the other interesting thing. Where did I put the bag? The bag's gone. No, it's not. It's on the floor. It is it looks kind of like an interesting technique to make these ears, which you probably cannot see at all. As I just said, the bag's gone. I was reminded of a line from Pulp Fiction, which I heard today because the BBC World Service was doing a thing about Bruce Willis, because Bruce Willis has just come out and said that, or his family or agents or whatever have come out and said that he's having a few health concerns and he's going to be out of acting, which is fair enough. I thought it was just a bit like the BBC were going through this retrospective of his life, his acting career, including the line from Pulp Fiction that I just referenced, that's not quite the word that I want. But I thought it was just so strange. It's like, he's not dead, you know. He's still there. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's still around. And it just sounded so much like, you know, he'll be sorely missed. Oh, he was a good person, that Bruce Willis. And it's like, he's still there. He hasn't gone anywhere. So let's actually pay attention to what we're doing. So we're building this thing. This is a very odd little thing at the end there. I have to see how this plays out as we put it together. Like, because it's like this corner thing. How is that going to actually look? Well, we'll see. We will see, indeed. You get a lot of these little round pieces. I don't know what their name is. They probably have some fancy name in the Lego community, the extreme Lego constructor community, who have to name everything with a very specific name. I did see on r/place on Reddit today, which I've been kind of following. It's a fascinating thing. So I went to place the pixel, and I'm like, I don't really know where to put my pixel. I kind of want to get people to organize to make, because it came up recently. Someone gave me a dinosaur, and a soft toy dinosaur, and it looked a lot, not exactly, but it looks like, well, this is right behind me. Here, they're pretty big. You can see they're too big for the camera, but you can kind of get them in here. And I'm like, that looks like Bub from Bubble Bobble, right? Or Puzzle Bobble, whichever series you're most affectionate about. And if you've ever heard of these things. And it's like, whoa! I've, of course, always been a big fan of Bubble Bobble. In fact, I may have talked about it on this channel beforehand, how I managed to get some kids of a younger age, obviously, interested in... How have I got them exactly the same? Oh, no, I haven't got them exactly the same. Interested in this... I don't understand how these little bits here. And playing Bubble Bobble, the original... Well, Bubble Memories, because that's like... It's hard to get them to play the 1986 Bubble Bobble game, but to play the 1990s Bubble Memories game, which I actually prefer, isn't so hard. But the point is like, that's what I wanted to put on the place thing on Reddit, is like a little bubble. So put a Bubble Bobble character on there. Maybe one of the meanies. So, all right. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. How much time have I got left? I'm not going to have another one of these ridiculous videos cutting out halfway through. I'm completely lost. Like, I need to have a smooth piece, apparently, but I don't have no smooth piece. And I'm supposed to have two of them. Now, I'm pretty sure I haven't lost anything. Did I use them in poor taste? Like, there was one here. But they must be here. Oh, here they are. How did they manage to hide underneath there? What are all these green things for? Oh, they're for the present. We have a lot to do here. I got to step it up a bit. There's like presents to make as well. You get a lot in this. This is action packed. So that's that one done. And this is the other one that we're going to make. I don't know if you can even see this. I'm just actually randomly stuffing these things together. You get the idea. You don't have to make it exactly the same. I've done this out of order. The only... no, I might have marked... No, that's fine. Right, we have to get those little corner bits just the right way around. So there we have those things, and these are going to be their arms. So that's pretty good. Oh, I can see now. I still don't understand this little thing here. They just must have given you lots of the rounded corner pieces, and then it's like, it's just, it must be, I mean, I guess that makes, you can kind of understand, like I'm going to guess the reason for that is that the more pieces you have, the different types of pieces, the harder the sorting is, and it actually probably costs them more to introduce another piece into the sorting mix, maybe. Because, you know, you've got to have a machine, and it's got to send the pieces from one place to another one, and then they've got to link up. I don't really know if that actually makes any difference. Because they must have just have, like, because, you know, a normal set will have many different types of pieces. So they must have a machine set up. So they have lots of little bins with all the different pieces in it. And then they can sort them and take them out. And so it doesn't seem to make any sense why they wouldn't just use a normal 1x1 square piece for that. But maybe it's just the playability. This is all about, you know, rebuildability. And they want to give you the best pieces they can, because they're really nice people there at the Lego. But I did see, yes, back to what we're talking about, I did see the Lego logo on the place thing for at least a while. It may not be there anymore. I'm moving all these around. So this is just make like all of these things. Like the thing is, like they had a Star Wars one yesterday, and that's got eaten up, and it was all made of what is it called? The moment I say it, I can't. Among Us characters, which I thought was interesting, but all right, yeah. So I still have never made Place to Pixel, so. There we go. It's done. And that can go there. So that's the end of that. So, what do I think of it? I think it's quite fun. Looking at it, I think it works quite well. I just like the building techniques. The little hands don't really work. This thing's going to fall out. So the hands, I think, are the weakest parts, because they don't really look like hands, and they don't really hold like hands. But you know, the face is done well. Apart from the eyes are just hard to get. Like I can't do it. I don't have the time or the money. All right, but I did get. Speaking of money, I did spend some money recently, and I bought. So this is the little plastic bag it came in. It's second hand, of course, but this is to add to my collection of motors and stuff. Lego branded motors. And electronic bits and pieces. This thing, which is like a 9-volt battery series that I don't think I've ever had before. So it's in pretty good shape. Like it's not very used. I don't have enough batteries, I don't think, at the moment. There's one to actually try. Maybe I do. I'll just have to check here. I don't think any of these batteries really work. So I've got that battery and that battery and that battery. This is one of these wacky Casio batteries, which I don't think is going to work. It looks like it's going to blow up. That you get in old Casio calculators, even if they come from the 80s. They still have these things in them, and they haven't leaked or blown up. And sometimes they even still work. And it's like, what did Casio do that has the, you know, how do they create these batteries that no one else seems to make, that don't blow up in your calculator or whatever, and go the distance? I mean, some of these batteries are going to explode just by me holding them. They're terrible. So we've got enough to not actually have to use the Casio one, because I'm pretty sure that Casio one doesn't actually have enough charge in it. So anyway, let's try this. So I got this, and I got these motors, and I think these are kind of interesting. I do have another motor that's a 9-volt one that's got the rounded corners. It looks a lot like this. I've got tons of the normal standard ones that came in the Mindstorm sets, but these ones I've never had before, I don't think. So I got this one out. This is actually the 4.5 volt battery pack, and I've got some some motors for this one too. So I've got quite a few of the various types over the years. I think out of the 9 volt, oh that's right, you've got to do this thing here, which I can't do come on, I got it open before. It definitely loses points for, ooh. Hopefully I don't break it, because that would be bad. So I think it takes 6, just like the newer Power Functions ones did. But I don't know if this is a better way of, because this is much easier to put the batteries in and out of. There's a bit of corrosion on the inside of this one. So it has had some bad days, but it looks like it's going to still function. I certainly will not be leaving the batteries in this thing. Right. Something smells like burning. Oh, it's this thing. Right, don't leave that next to the torch. Okay. And we'll put this on the top. So apparently this wire still works even though it's on the verge of completely collapsing. These wires, they always do this. They always sort of like start to deteriorate. So this goes on this bit here. Does it actually work? The interesting thing about this one is that all the other motors I've seen, they've had the battery contacts on the top and you put the thing on the top of it like that. But this one's got them on the bottom. And if you actually look at the little manual that came with it, which has everything in Japanese, I guess, and English. Like, I don't know what even that says. Please read battery. Oh, that's a battery, right? Okay. Please read battery instructions. So yeah, it's got like little pictures of things you can make. I've got one of these, by the way. Just want to say, which I haven't actually tried, but that's quite hard to get these days. And I've got these somewhere. These are the little bits and pieces that go with it. But you may see how they actually put the little adapter plate thing on the bottom, and then you connect to the plate like that, which is a kind of strange way of doing it. But like the bits of the wire are actually falling apart onto the table here. Thankfully I've got tons of these extra wires that are still in pretty good shape. So the only way I can see of doing this without having that little extender plate thing, so if you don't know what that is, it looks like a normal piece, but it's actually got metal on the inside and there's metal contacts on the insides of that. So it's not just a standard Lego piece. I can't just take apart my Christmas present and use that. But because there's little tiny metal things that stick through here, we can put that on there and we can see if it works. Does it work? It does, kind of works. It goes that way. And it goes the other way. Well, it kind of went that way. I think that's mainly just the... Why did it stop? I could have shorted the batteries out. Yeah, I would be surprised if... Have I damaged the batteries? I think I've Oh, no, here we go. So there's something going on with this. Oh no, why doesn't it work? Huh, there's something with the battery box maybe. Nope. So it does work, you just have to hold all of this exactly the right way. What a letdown. But at least it kind of works. Like, that's better than nothing. And the motors work. So I'm sure whatever is wrong with this could be repaired. I think it's probably just the wire, to be honest. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. That was the end of this video. It was supposed to be a short one. It's taken now 25 minutes. But now I have these, so ha 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 if you don't have them and you really, really want them, because I have them. They're all mine. But these are really good shape too. Like, there's no nicks or anything on them. They've only been obviously used a couple of times, if at all. Wire is falling apart. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.